Welcome back to the Crossover Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy, alongside Alan. As always, where is Daquan? Nobody knows. It's like he's like, where the world is Carmen San Diego? I don't know, dude. He might be asleep. He might be busy.
I don't know.
I don't know. Uh, what do you have today before I start my thing?
Well, unfortunately, because you brought it up, I've been watching and listening to a bunch of things and just reading about, like, even during the Xbox showcase, even though I was excited for the games, what they're actually doing and looking into it deeply and looking at how they're going about things, it's just I have a lot to say.
So we can start on that, right? I can go ahead
Yeah,
and start.
I think that's going to be most of the episode today.
All right, Xbox, you fucking company. Microsoft, I need you to stop this shit right now. We're gonna start off on a very wrong foot. I'm just telling you right now. Microsoft, get out the hardware business. Stop it. Just stop. Be like, take a page from Sega. Stop making hardware. Save that money cost, and put it towards the developers instead of, I don't know, just buying all the studios, hoping for exclusives, and then just shutting them down. Now, let's back up. Let's back up. There is, let's see. Ninja Theory is rumored to shut down. Double Fine is rumored to shut down. Compulsion Games is probably already shut down. That in itself is a tragedy. I don't fucking understand your idea of buying all these studios, hoping for, I don't know, something. Putting on a great showcase of games, and then the next day, start closing shit down. Now people are gonna come at me like, but Jeremy, PlayStation, they bought Bluepoint 5 years ago, and they shut them down. Yeah, we can have the argument, sure. But at least PlayStation is making exclusives for their titles. At least they have some sense, in my opinion, about what making games are. Xbox, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They peaked at Xbox 360. They should have stopped that. They should have stopped there. Because Xbox One was dog water. And the Xbox Series S and X, you have two consoles. For some reason, that's makes it difficult to choose which one, because not both consoles can play the same thing at the same rate. Now, Phil Spencer, I love him. He's a great guy. I'm sure he is. He's happily retired. But I'm gonna put at least 75% of blame on Phil Spencer. Maybe a little less. But as a number off the top of my head, 75% on Phil Spencer for getting these studios. The other 25% is new CEO. I just don't I'm already crashed out for the week for other reasons. But this one I don't fucking understand. You had a great showcase. You show Gears of War, everyone liked it. You show Halo, it's fantastic. You show that Senua. Look, I like Senua. Why the fuck would you just show a game and then all of a sudden you show that game to try and get somebody to purchase the studio? That's fucking wild, bro. That's fucking wild. And then you have Double Fine, which makes some of the most unique games that people like. Now, Compulsion Games, they do make good games. You can argue about the gameplay, sure. South of Midnight, I hear, was a good game. Gameplay was like, whatever. If you want to make an argument for Compulsion, sure. Do I think they should deserve to be shut down? No. Let these studios get bought out. Let them go independent. Just buy them out. Just something. Instead of just saying, you know what? Let's just close them. Let's just close them. Let's just keep Activision.
So
Let's
that's
just
one
keep
of
living.
that's one of the things that I was wanting to talk about because I kept going into it and looking at it.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't have any,
Or I lose my mind.
and I don't have obviously like the actual information behind the scenes or what, because at this rate, we don't really know what the thought process behind what Xbox is doing.
I don't think
But
there's a thought process.
I think there is. I just don't think it's smart.
A sound one? No.
I just don't think it's smart. Like I think what Xbox is doing is okay. So I think if they truly wanted Xbox to be successful, they'd need a like Microsoft needs to let them go. Microsoft needs to completely detach Xbox Studios off of Microsoft, and Microsoft needs to stop being involved. The reason Xbox during the 360 era did so well was because they took a very hands-off approach and they only gave money. Now, sure, they probably did have some say in certain things that happened, and maybe they had like a little bit of influence, but it was very much a hands-off approach, I think. Because otherwise, I don't think Phil Spencer would have been able to do the things that he did if it was more like we have right now. But I also think like some of these studios, like obviously they're kind of still considered indie studios for the most part, even though they were being funded by Microsoft. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think one of the bigger studios being Double Fine was probably fine, right? Like, I think the reason okay, I'm gonna say this now before I give my opinion about how I feel about this. I don't like that this many people are just being laid off and kind of, having to then try to find work to, continue to support themselves. Because losing your job randomly like that and you're not prepared and let's say you don't have another job lined up, that sucks. But the other side of that coin, which is why I wanted to preface that I may not like it, but there's a couple ways to kind of look at this. Assuming they're closing a lot of these smaller indie ones, because like let's be real, other than like the one that really still pisses me off is Tango Gameworks getting shut down, especially after Hi-Fi Rush. Like, that one, it makes no sense. Ninja Theory,
no sense.
Ninja Theory is more of like, yeah, Hellblade is a good game, but I think, so this is another thing, right? I don't think these studios would have survived this long on their own. Not all of them. Like, I think Double Fine would have been fine. I think Tango Gameworks probably would have been fine. Maybe. Because they were doing the Evil Within before, and those were selling pretty well. But, like, Ninja Theory, realistically, probably with Hellblade only selling via, like, 1 million within the year, and then that was it. And then, they still did okay. It's not like they weren't doing bad. But then you add on top, like, the Game Pass. Like, I think Game Pass completely ruined any of those studios to ever have any success. But then you have Compulsion Games, which sold an okay amount of games. So I think, like, again, because Game Pass is involved, we don't know how many games actually sold for a lot of those titles. We don't know how well they did or how well they didn't do. So that there's that discussion, because, like, don't get me wrong, this is still a company. I don't like willy-nilly people losing their jobs, but at the end of the day, like, if we have that conversation of, like, if they were on their own with how many employees they have, their costs, would they have survived this long without Xbox?
Yeah, but don't know, man. But to show a game.
Oh no, I completely think it's fucking stupid. Like, the fact that Ninja Theory released that and it was like one of the big titles that we're going to be showing off, and then now they're at risk for closure. Like, I think the problem is, again, I think Microsoft being involved and running Xbox as a system of metrics instead of like a system for growth, like running everything by metrics and profit is never good. Like, I think any company, especially in the video games industry, that does that, it hasn't done super well. Look at EA. I mean, to be fair, EA is funded by the FIFA, Madden, NBA people, so like I think they'll be fine. But like Ubisoft was, look at Ubisoft's state currently.
Sega don't make consoles anymore. Just saying.
No, yeah, Sega doesn't do it. So I think the best thing that Xbox can do is get away from Microsoft and change the way that their philosophy for the company is. I think there's a lot, because
you can still have Xbox Game Studios, but this Project Helix, in my opinion, stop it. Put that money towards the developers. Let them make games.
Yeah, I mean it's because it's such a problem that started during the Xbox One era that they're still dealing
Oh
with
yeah.
now
Oh
because
yeah.
it's the whole this is an Xbox campaign. If they didn't go down, because like when you think of Sony, when you especially when you're talking about games, right? It's the PlayStation. Nintendo, it's obviously now it's the Switch, but it was the 3DS, the Wii, right? You think of consoles of that generation. Xbox, you used to think the 360 or the original Xbox. But now you think of Xbox and you think of mediocre games and them trying to put Xbox on fucking phones, PCs, TVs.
Yeah.
I think it's like it's hurting brand identity, but it's also I think the philosophy behind it just ended up hurting what their game development could have been.
Yeah.
Again, their corporate metrics, which I think are also fucking stupid, because you hear it all the time, right? Like another fucking perfect example of how stupid that is as a company, especially for video games. I don't know, it depends. Maybe it's just like my own personal opinion because of what it seems like. But Square Enix is notorious for this. A new game comes out and it sells relatively well, especially for like a JRPG or something. Because let's be real, Square Enix is not selling 5 to 10 million copy games because that's just not like they're what they sell. Like Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy sell extremely well in Japan, and it sells decently well here. And that's what you can expect. But no matter how many copies, like for example, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I think was it almost 3 million or something like that?
That sounds right.
I'd have to look it up. It doesn't matter. It's between 1.5 and 3 million. It's somewhere around there. And they said, yeah, I didn't sell enough. It's a failure, essentially. Like that mindset is, and I get it because again, they're trying to run a company. So it's not like I'm completely oblivious to it, but I think it's just, it hurts the development process on top of then like Xbox is doing this because it's Microsoft and everything has to be a profit despite them being one of the most profitable companies in the fucking world. Game Pass happened, and then you start diluting who actually buys your game and then who doesn't, and then it's not like, I'm sure a portion of the subscriptions go to the developers, but like
I hope so.
You would hope so, right? But then you're
I
like,
hope so.
before they raise the prices, if you're a PC player, you're only paying $11 a month, maybe 15. And then it was like multiple million, like let's say hundreds to multiple hundreds of millions of dollars a month. How much of that is actually going to the studios? Not to mention then because again, it's a subscription service. So like, I'm sure like, especially if you're a smaller indie company that are already pricing their games lower than the average AAA or AA game. I think you'd much rather see someone buy a $30, $20, even $20 game than like $15 subscription service that may or may not play your game. So there's so many things, and not to mention, like on top of their brand identity, Xbox Game Pass hurting the video game ecosystem, especially the Xbox game titles. Microsoft being unreasonable, to be honest, that's all I can assume. Then you have I have stuff written down. That's why I'm looking to the left. Their strategy, it changes every 3 years. And none of it works.
They don't know what they want to do.
Like, you start off with exclusives matter because this is during the peak of the console wars, right? Then you go to exclusives don't matter because the Xbox One is not doing well. Then they go to everything's an Xbox, so you can play wherever you want on anything you want. Try to get people to play Xbox titles. Then you get renewed emphasis on exclusives for like a little bit. And then it doesn't work. And now you have multi-platform publishing where Halo and Gears of War is now on the PlayStation. But now we're going back to exclusives matter.
Yeah, they don't know what they want. Like I'm gonna go back a little bit. Like I feel so bad for Arcane, dude.
Yeah.
For putting out Redfall. Bro. Well, we could have had Dishonored 3 by now, but no. They want to buy Arcane and put out this shit.
And I wish I could say it was like, it's an Xbox only issue, but that's just like across the board, like people. Like, and again, it's not like because we've had the discussion before where it's not like developers don't have a say in what they can make, but like there's a limit, right? Like you still have to, you're still getting funding from them. Like they're essentially your livelihood. You still have to listen to what they're telling you. Which just sucks because again, this is during the whole live service is the treasure, the what is it, the gold at the end of the rainbow,
Yeah.
of make believes and dreams that literally everyone told them would fail and they still did it anyways. Except,
Mhm.
Obviously the analytics all prove that Fortnite and Apex and all these other games are doing so well that it has to work for us.
Like, it's amazing that Rocksteady is still here because of Justice League.
Yeah.
Just saying, it's amazing.
God, I hate that.
Because who knows what the fuck WB Games is doing? Who knows what the fuck?
I don't know, dude. I don't understand any of these. Like, it's we don't have whatever data they're looking at, but like at the end of the day, right? It's still the board of directors and CEOs' decisions to do the things that they do, and they're just.
Oh yeah.
Especially for these major corporations, they just shouldn't be involved in these decision makings because they just don't know. They're out of touch. I think it's always been proven for the last 20 years that they're out of touch.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yet we still have to deal with them because they're in charge. Instead, I think like Xbox realistically could probably detach themselves from Microsoft and they'd probably be okay. Now again, I don't really know what would need to go into to actually going through that process. Whether Microsoft would ever let that go, probably not. But yeah, I don't know, man. I
can't see them letting go of the Xbox brand.
I mean, I don't know why they care so much when they're fucking sitting on Windows anyways. Microsoft as a whole I can't even, like, obviously they have home computers, they have laptops, they have tablets. They have fucking their software on most fucking computers around the world. They have a cloud what is it? A cloud service. I forget what, there's an actual word for it, like the AWS, like for Amazon.
OneDrive?
No, it's like an actual cloud. It's a cloud infrastructure that they like, websites and companies run off of. Not to mention Google. Google is one of the biggest search engines in the world. So Lord knows how much money they make off of that. People using their services, Google OneDrive. I pay for Google OneDrive. YouTube, like the amount of things that they have. Like, yeah, again, it's all just for profit. So. But I think Xbox has been continually just draining money from them, if anything.
Look, this might be controversial. I'm just saying Xbox is right now killing the game industry. It's very not so drastically, but like just draining it.
I think they're part of it for sure. I think they're a big part of it, but I think that's unfortunate. Like, I'll be honest. I hate making this rant because I think I've done it before. Mm-hmm. I hate the Western gaming development sphere.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I hate to be that guy like, oh, the East does it better, but like notoriously they just do. They've been doing it. Like, yeah, sure, they like, but this is like across the game industry. Like, crunch is a problem, especially in the East in certain areas. But some companies have gotten a lot better about it. But at the end of the day, the way that the Western game development sphere or environment is currently it's ruining games. And we obviously have an abundance. Like, that's one of the reasons why I am not entirely like too upset about people being laid off. Because, like, let's be real, every studio has really talented developers, but also really shit ones. Some of those, let's be real, dude. If these studios closing down means some of these talented developers get to go to some really good studios to make really good games, honestly, it might be better in the long run. We get rid of the fucking, like, let's be real, a lot of these people that are dog shit that have kind of been coasting because they're part of this company aren't going to find work. So I think I'm all for getting rid of the shitty developers that can't make games, that have what's the word that I want to use without being too offensive? The mindset for making games, especially in the West, is it's not woke, because I hate that term. It's so dumb. Yeah. But like the thought process behind it, and it's that's also part of it, because it's also kind of happening in Final Fantasy for like Square Enix. The toxic positivity, which we've seen as a factor of like Concord, right? Like, it's not the whole, you can't like make sure if you're talking about our game or in the studio itself, like we got to be positive, we can't be too negative, or because all criticism could be taken, they could offend people. Like that's something that was pretty prevalent, at least in a few studios here in the West, and it's starting to become a really big problem in at least Final Fantasy 14.
Like I'm pretty sure we said this before. You can like a game and still criticize it.
Yeah,
you can do that.
I do it
That's
every day.
Fine. I do it too. It's fine. It's okay to do it.
Yeah, I think if you have actual construction criticism other than this is dog shit, this feels awful, it means that you truly care about the game and you want it to improve. And I wish developers would see that and understand that at least most people now, because obviously there's a lot of people, especially in the gaming industry, that shit on games, shit on developers, even fucking go and tweet at these developers for something that they don't like. We don't like these people. I don't claim these people. They're not part of our hobby. I think they would go. I wish they'd go ruin someone else's hobby. Like, I don't know. Go ruin the Roblox hobby some more.
Not anything else,
Yeah. But I think I wish, like, you don't have to listen to all the criticism because obviously not everyone has the proper knowledge, or their suggestion might not work because obviously they're the ones that understand how it's made, what's the systems behind it. But I think listening to the people and their comment complaints, even if their suggestions aren't what you need to do to fix it, is still worthwhile because you find out where the issues are, where the rough spots are, where people are getting irritated. Like these things still matter. And I wish people would stop getting angry. Because another thing is something that I've also noticed, and again, I don't like talking about this kind of shit because I just don't care for it. But something that's also become more prevalent in gaming, especially here in the West, is politics are starting to show up a lot more, not just in games, but also in people's opinions for games. And I think there's nothing wrong with having a game that talks about politics or has it as one of their main driving force in story. Because, for example, Gundam, the anime, is heavily political. It's about war and military, things of that nature. And there's a lot of politics involved. I think that's fine. But it's not trying to push specific politics onto the viewer like some people are, like some games are. And this isn't just a leftist issue or rightist issue. Like this is from both sides. And I think, because as an example, right, like Concord, when a lot of the criticism online came out, people were like, oh, you're just complaining because you don't like what real people look like and all this other stuff. It's like, no, we just don't want to look at your ugly ass characters. Like that's just really what it is.
About like it's not really
like, yeah, people were saying that because they didn't like the characters and what they looked like and they were ugly. They considered like, but these are what more real people look like because they were trying to be inclusive or whatever. And so people criticizing it then were called misogynist, or like women aren't meant to be sexy, you sexist. It's like a whole bunch of things. But this isn't just them. Like it's from both sides. So it's like, And I think I've always hated it because there's nothing wrong with disagreeing. And I wish that was something that people like. There's so many people like, okay, so maybe a little too much information. I'm single. I'm going out there dating, but like I don't leave my house as much other than like gym, work, or hang out with friends. And so have to use dating apps. They suck, but what else are you going to do? Something that I commonly see is, and this is both for people that are conservative or liberal, it's like if you support this person or if you support this person, just swipe left. That person, the fact that you're willing to exclude, like, let's be generous and say it's 50-50 conservative and liberals in America. Yeah. You're excluding close to 75 million people. I think it's closer to 65 to 70 million people. Because let's say roughly half of them are men. If you're a woman looking for, or like and in this case, I'm a man looking for a woman, right? Half of the population, that's gone. So we're down to like 60 to 70 million people. And then let's say I cared about that things. And so let's say I'm liberal and I'm trying to get rid of conservative women. Let's say it's half. We're down to 30 to 35 million across all of America to try to find what is supposed to be the love of my life or my potential wife, right? Like, I think that closed-mindedness is the reason the Western gaming development sphere is in the state that it's currently in. I don't think it's the main, like the only factor. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of other stuff going into it, but I think that's a really big one because obviously, like the people that are doing research for marketing, advertising, finding out what the next big thing is. They're listening to people's opinions, the way that they act, the things that they consume, the things that they watch, and those opinions, whether they like it or not, are shown in the things that we consume. And so it's a big component of why we're in the state that we're in.
Yep. No, I agree. I wanted to go back to I forgot what you said. About disagreeing with people. If you come at me, right, talking about game A, you don't like this thing in game A, and I ask you, what don't you like about it? And you tell me I just don't like it, I'm gonna come at you with, we're done. We're done here. If you can't tell me what you don't like about it, and then you can't tell me what you want to fix it, what are we talking about? We're just
I think it does depend. I think it depends.
I got an example.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Greg, I love you. I love you, Greg. Greg doesn't play 14 because he said they made crafting too easy. Okay, sure. How would you fix it? Because you have to think about why they made it easier.
Yep, they were making it more. Yeah, they were making it more accessible so more people could do it.
Right. It had an influx of players during the pandemic. What are you gonna do? Make the game more accessible for people to play. Now, the new expansion is coming out next year. They're changing a bunch of shit. Who knows what they have in plan for crafting? Do I think they're gonna make it easier? I think it might stay close to the same. I don't see them making any big changes to crafting, honestly. Do I think they're gonna make it harder? They're not gonna make it harder.
No.
They're not going back.
No.
So
a company will never make it harder.
No. So realistically, what could they do to make crafting more interesting for people, and not harder, interesting for people like Greg to be like, all right, I'll play again?
I think realistically, the only thing you could do to try to, because it's kind of annoying, because the way that crafting is set up right now is you increase the quality to try to get to a high quality item by using high quality materials, and then by using specific actions using based on your stats and your like MP, but it's CP crafting points. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you have a set of actions that you do, and some people can make macros for it. Mm-hmm. And you can pretty much guarantee a high thing. But like the only thing I could think of to try to make it more interesting or engaging is when you start crafting, it becomes more of a manual event. So instead of having those abilities like you would a combat class, you now have active mini games that you do with your WASD and your mouse while playing, or your control stick and your buttons while playing, that affect the quality of an item. Again, that could make it more interesting and more fun, but it's also more frustrating because now it's a performance based. Right? Yeah. That's what my brain immediately goes. But again, because it's not consistent anymore, because it's based on your performance, it can piss a lot of people off.
Yeah. Like if you want to critique something and you just say, I just want them to change it to what exactly? To any game. Change it to what?
And like I said,
think about on their end and what they're looking at.
Yeah, and like I said, I get where you're coming from, but it does depend, because like I can still understand as long as, like, especially if I have a deep understanding of how a system works. Like for example, I think we've had plenty of discussions before on how they're balancing the game and how classes feel and the direction that they're taking classes. I don't like where the direction for some of the classes are going, but I don't really have a criticism because I understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, and I don't have a better way to do it. And so I just be like, yeah, I don't like it, but I mean, I don't know how to fix it, because again, they're getting rid of button bloat. They're trying to optimize your hotbar to make it easier, more accessible, and easier to play. Because again,
Especially for
what the
controllers.
yeah, for controllers especially, right? Because obviously they're trying to go more into the console market. So like I understand why they're doing the things they're doing. So as someone that you may not like the system or some of the changes they're making, I can't give a criticism on how to fix it or change the direction because I don't know how much they're changing it with this new system. But also on top of that, the reason I'm like not too, I guess for me personally, why I'm not too upset about it is because their philosophy is also changing. They decided that instead of making the classes hard to play while doing raids and ultimates, they're just going to make the savage and ultimates way harder and make your class way easier to play. But it also raises the bar of entry, or not raises, lowers the bar of entry for end game content, because as long as you know how to play the class, then you just have to learn the fight and learn how to raid essentially and learn how to do your damage. So like that's why I have to see how it ends up being. But like for that situation, right? I don't know how it would fucking change. I don't know how to criticize that. I just don't like it, but maybe it's good.
We just have to wait till it comes out.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But also, like as another example, right? Like there's plenty of games. For example, Code Vein.
Which one?
The first one. I didn't play the second one. So the first one, I wanted to play it, right? It's a Dark Souls. It's a Souls-like in an anime style. What's not to like? It's for sure for me, right? I played 2 hours. I dropped it.
I understand.
And
I can understand
all
why.
I can tell you is I don't fucking like it.
I can see. I don't have to. No further questions.
Yeah. So that's
I can see why.
so like I think for certain things there are certain like because I can tell you right now I've picked up and dropped anime and manga because the vibe isn't what I was looking for, and I can't just outright be like let's say it's an like Shield Hero, right, as an example, because it's just something that I saw on the homepage of Crunchyroll this morning. Let's say you liked Shield Hero and I decided to watch it, and then I decided I didn't like it, and then you're gonna be like, what didn't you like? I'll be like, I don't know, vibes were off. The fuck are you gonna say to that? Like I didn't like it because the vibes weren't what I was looking for, or the premise wasn't what I'm looking for. But like that's not a discussion to really be had either. You're just like, oh, you didn't like it. So that's why like I get where you're coming from, because you're right. Like a lot of those times there's nothing to really discuss there, and it's kind of frustrating. But at the same time, sometimes people can just not like something because they don't like that specific thing and they don't really have an explanation for it.
It's funny. I saw Neil deGrasse Tyson on the Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp,
Yeah.
and they were talking about the moon landing and how it was probably fake. Which, come on now, stop it. Anyway, so Neil was talking about a guy who asked them to show him evidence of the moon landing, like where they landed. He showed them the picture, and he still didn't believe. And Neil's like, "We're done. What is there more to say?
Yeah.
You asked me to show you this."
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Like there's nothing more to discuss. Yeah. That's so funny, dude.
Yeah, it is.
It's just like one of my favorite clips still is the flat earther trying to prove that the earth is flat. And he had one camera with a flashlight, or one camera looking down plywood like through a hole, and they had it so it's camera some distance away plywood, some distance away plywood, and then even farther away was another like flashlight. And so he goes, so I'm using this experiment to prove to you that from this distance we should start observing a little bit of the curvature. And so he goes, so what we've done is we've made it to where the holes line up, and so if I just hold the camera at chest level from the other camera, we should be able to see the flashlight. But if the earth curves, then it has to be over my head for us to see the flashlight. And so he goes, all right, do you have the flashlight on? And the other guy's like, yeah. And he goes, I don't see it. Raise it above your head, and it shows up on the camera, and he goes, interesting. And then the clip ends.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, dude, I still love that clip.
Man, I don't know who told. I don't know who told. I gotta do this research again. But like the West, they make games for profit.
Yeah.
The East, they make games as a hobby, for the most part. They really see that as a like Like of course, they have to make a profit. Of course, I get it. They have to make money, but they really make it just for enjoyment and entertainment purposes.
I think one of the things that I like, and well, I don't want to. Okay, I'm gonna use the word like because I'm tired of it. So let me ask you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
What was the last game you played where you said, "Huh, there's not a character that represents me"? Has that
I
thought
don't say that
ever
often.
has that thought ever appeared in your head playing a game?
It hasn't popped in my head before. Like I definitely thought about like characters in games that do represent me, but that won't make or break a game for me.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you right now.
Mhm.
In my 30 years of being alive, I've been gaming since I was 3. I've been
Right.
watching movies since I was essentially 6 months old. Obviously, I have no memory of it, but apparently, according to my parents, I didn't cry a lot, so they started taking me to the movie theaters at 6 months.
Uh-huh.
I've never once watched a movie, played a game, watched an anime, read a book, read an anime, or read a manga, anything, where I've been like, where the fuck are the Mexican males?
Oh yeah, that. Oh no, I have never done that before. No.
No, you have characters that could represent you
No,
because they have
yeah.
similarities to you. That's different. But I'm talking about like when I hate bringing them up because they inherently them as like a group of people did nothing wrong except for the people that are loud. As a perfect example, Dragon Age, the Veilguard, the main character, I think is the main character being trans, and then that's like her whole personality.
Yeah.
I hate that
something
shit.
like that.
I hate that fucking shit. You want to know who's a fucking great character recently that is a representation of the LGBT community? And guess what? Didn't become a whole thing for it. And he's one of my favorite characters in Final Fantasy.
What's that?
Dion from Final Fantasy 16. Bahamut. That motherfucker was gay as hell.
That man's the goat. Let me tell you.
That man's gay as hell. And guess what? Didn't even pop into my mind. I was like, this guy's goated. He's Bahamut. I remember seeing him in the trailers. You start going through the story. You find out what kind of person he is. I was like, bro, this guy's fucking sick. He's the goat. Then you find out randomly, he's like, oh, he's gay. And then they move on because that's what it should be. It's not a personality trait. It's just part of who they are in their character. There's a difference between having something be quote unquote part of your identity versus your whole identity. And that's the problem. And that's the problem where I have this whole inclusivity / representation argument because I've never cared. I've never been bothered playing a game where they're all black, they're all white, they're all Asian.
Say, I have done this. I have played a game or watched a movie with Kayla. I'm like, oh look, this black person. That's it.
See, that's it. But the funny thing is, I've done something similar, but it wasn't for Hispanics. I'll be like, I rewatched Twilight recently. I was like, hey, you can count the amount of black people there are in this movie in your one hand. Like,
you can't.
Like, I'm not looking for it, but like I'll notice it, and then
I'm not looking for it.
Yeah, you just notice it. But again, it's not then like, oh, there's only one black person in this movie. It's fucking awful. Like, no, or there's no black people in this movie. I'm not going to enjoy it.
I do. Like in Japan, all I see is white people, Europeans, Asians. One black person. Nah, keep moving.
That's it.
That's it. I'm not out here looking for them. If I see them, cool.
And I think that's part of why I like Eastern games so much, because they don't give a fuck what you like or don't like. They're making the game they want to make. As an example, right? I even brought up the criticism of Stellar Blade's new character, Evie, looking kind of baby-faced and young, and I didn't like it. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to play the game and enjoy it.
That game looks dope as fuck, bro.
It looks fucking sick. But then you also go into the criticism of like, oh, because a lot of the Western people really had a problem with it. But then you start thinking about it like, but look at like, especially South Korea as like a people where fashion, looking young, and very specific facial details are pronounced as like the proper form of beauty. I don't really put that past their decision for the game that they're making when they're a South Korean based company. And on top of that, obviously as long as she's of age and it's like not this weird fetish kind of thing, it's not a really big issue. It's not a porn game. I don't know what to tell you. Like, And as another example, right? Like I think there's a lot of criticism from some Western audiences for anime. They don't like certain subject things or certain things that bothered them and blah, blah, blah. And I think there was a recent article where Japan went said, we don't care what you think. Like anime is Japanese and it's going to stay that way.
Yeah.
And I wish the Western people would do that. I wish they'd have the balls to make something. It gets criticized and be like, well, that's what we want to make. And it's our message that we want to send.
Man, there's somebody on my Facebook a while ago who asked, is there any anime out there that doesn't involve high school kids or something like that? Like, there is.
Yeah,
You
a lot.
just have to find it.
There's a lot. But you want to know why it's mostly high school people?
What's up?
Because you're mostly watching shonen anime. Most of the mainstream anime is shonen. Do you know what shonen means? It means young boy or young like guy, young man. All of those animes, especially if they're shonen jump titles, were targeted towards the lower teenage male demographic, which is why it's heavy on action, which is why it talks about certain things, which is why it shows some fan service, but not a lot. Like, these things are specifically targeted. Go look at seinen anime. Go look at romance anime. There's a lot of, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of high school romance as well, but there's a lot of college and older like people anime as well. Like one of the more popular ones is Smoking Behind the Supermarket, where it's just the guy, a salaryman. Yeah, that one is really fucking good.
It is. I haven't watched it.
It's they're super short. They're 10-minute episodes.
Okay. Oh, 10 minutes. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So it's a good watch. You should watch it. So I wish people would stop trying to impose their ideals and beliefs onto other things and just try to enjoy it for what it is, because at the end of the day, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
If you watch something and you don't like it, you can just say, I didn't like it. It didn't agree with my beliefs. And that's fine. If something doesn't agree to your beliefs, like as an example, right? I read a manga recently called Family Senki. It's like a longer one, but that's like essentially what it is. Game of Familia, Family Senki. I dropped it. I hated it. I thought it was disgusting. There's a lot in there that I just did not like. I didn't like the progression of the story, some of the character writing, and that's okay. I just dropped it. I'm not going to complain about it on Twitter or complain about it to other people. I would just be like, if someone ever mentions it and like, hey, is this anything good? I would be like, no, I wouldn't waste your time.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And I think the philosophy being is, again, on top of, because you mentioned it, like I think a lot of Eastern developers, like I think it's super prevalent in Sega, especially now Sega, From Software, Capcom, and Nintendo being some of the biggest industry studios in the East. And you know what they say? And you hear it every time they talk about it in these Sony State of Plays, the Nintendo Direct. You even hear it at the Xbox Showcase, Summer Games Fest, Tokyo Game Show, Gamescom, or is it Gamescom? It's Gamescom, right? The one in Germany? Yeah. Germany. And then the Video Game Awards. Every time, what do they think? They're like, they'll ask them like, oh, how did you come up with this? What made you want to do this? And they always said, what kind of game do we want to make? They always say, what kind of game do we want to make? Or what kind of game do we think would be fun to us? Mm-hmm. And that is why they're succeeding and the West is not. As an example, Space Marine 2, fucking phenomenal game. You should play it if you haven't. They didn't fucking care about like, oh, is this too gory? Is the sensitive matter? No, it's legit 4 buff ass men going around fighting aliens, and that's it.
Yep.
About stoicism, brotherhood without speaking, things of that nature. And it did well. Gears of War was pretty much the same thing, so I'm kind of worried about what they're going to do with the story for Gears of War, but I'm excited still nonetheless. Mm-hmm. I just wish the Western market would just be like, quit fucking trying to chase how to make as much money as possible and be like, what's a good fucking game? Just as an improvement. And this is another fucking like a nitpick now, because you just reminded me about West versus Eastern watchers. Western anime watchers piss me off.
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
You motherfuckers only care about action and good animation instead of what makes a good anime, and it's so apparent with the way you guys talk about anime online. I'm sick of it. You know what? We should bring gatekeeping back. Bullying, gatekeeping, that needs to be brought back. I'm tired of it. We've been too inclusive because of this Western liberal movement. You know what, dude?
Oh my god. Yeah.
They want to call me the right man of anime. I'm here. I don't give a fuck.
Don't get me wrong. I like my action anime.
No, it has a place. It has a place.
It has a place.
That's why Bleach is one of my favorite manga of all time, and that's just fighting.
Yeah,
But
it's
that's not all anime is and shouldn't be. As an example, right? Joey, the anime man, there's a lot of people that like him, dislike him. I don't give a fuck. Who cares? I just watch his content. They're entertaining.
Joey the anime man.
His name is the anime man, but his name is Joey. He's an Australian. He lives. He's half Australian, half Japanese. He lives in Japan. He's part of Trash Taste, Gigug, and all them.
I see. Okay.
He recently responded to an Instagram reel or a TikTok, and the guy said we need more female protagonists in anime. Let that sink in. He thought there wasn't enough female representation for the main character.
In which anime or anime in general?
And just anime. Now let me ask you, what genre of anime has more male than female representation as the main character?
Shonen, right?
It's shonen.
Yeah.
They only watch shonen. And then Joey the anime then proceeded to list like 50 off the top of his head that had a female main lead. And the comments were all roasting. It's like, see, you only did 50. And he's like trying to keep it under a minute, right? That's why he only did 50. But he goes, you only did 50. If you were to sit here and do that about men, the list would be so much longer. And I was like, I hate all of you.
Let me
Watch something else.
Let me do a quick Google search. I found it.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, come on. No, where's the volume on my? Oh my god, there we go. Okay, Sailor Moon. Okay. Kill.
Yep, Kill is it's female.
Ghost
You know,
in the Shell.
you want to know?
Yeah.
You want to know who's the main character of one of the most famous shonen of all time, and people don't realize it?
What's that?
Fairy Tail. Lucy's the main character.
Yeah.
People think it's Natsu, but no, Lucy is the main character.
Isn't
Soul Eater, Maka. Oh, Free-Ren, which had Atelier, one of the most popular anime this season's female main character. Claire, Medaka. Well, that one's a little bit out there. JoJo's Bihar Adventure, Stone Ocean had Jolene. You had Kill la Kill. The two main characters and antagonists were all female. And obviously, if we start talking about like main, because another argument, because he kept bringing up, is like, yeah, but those aren't mainstream. It's like, that's because shonen is the only mainstream anime in the West, and it's all male dominated. Sure, you can make that argument, but even then, it's like, I say male dominated, but it's probably closer to like 60-40. There's a lot of female protagonists in the shonen genre. You just haven't watched them because you either don't read manga or you only watch what's shown on the main screen of Crunchyroll.
Yeah. Just a quick Google search will, help you out just a little bit.
I'm always so flabbergasted is the word I'm going to use, of how little people are just willing to Google something.
Yeah.
Their inability to go hit new tab or go to the home screen, because like on Android you have the home screen. I have the little Google search bar because I use it.
Mm-hmm. It's not there for show. Yeah,
just fucking Google it. You know what? If you don't want to Google it and you want a more concrete list, I don't even care. Use Grok. Use ChatGPT.
Something. Shit.
You could even look up YouTube. You're already on it. Just type in female protagonist anime and you're going to find a shit ton.
I got you, homie. Hold on.
Apothecary Diaries is also a really big one, by the way.
Female protagonist anime.
You know what? I just searched it up on.
Look at that.
Yeah, I just searched it up on ChatGPT just to make it easier for you Gen Zers. I just typed in mainstream anime where the protagonist is female. We have Free-Ren, Apothecary Diaries, Claymore, Yona of the Dawn. We have Ghost in the Shell. I fucking forgot. It's fucking female character the whole time, pretty much. Vivi, Sailor Moon, Madoka Magica, Cardcaptor Sakura, which is one of the most well-known magical girl anime next to Sailor Moon. Kill la Kill, Black Lagoon, JoJo's Stone Ocean, Fruits Basket, Violet's Evergarden, Nana. Like, And those are
It's
in
crazy, man.
fantasy, action, sci-fi, cyberpunk, magical girl, supernatural, action, adventure, and romance and drama. You got 5 for each,
There's
or
a lot
3 for
here.
each.
There's a lot here on YouTube. Just list of them.
So I'm just saying, people.
Oh man.
That's why I stopped. I say this so often to my friends. I love the hobbies that we are a part of. I love video games. I love anime. I love music, especially if it's nerdy music. I love cards. Like I love Pokemon. I used to love Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't play it anymore. As you can see back there, I love Magic, The Gathering. I play music. And I love all of these hobbies and the joy that it brings me and the things that I get to experience. But God, do I fucking hate our community.
Yeah. Just know, video games in general is like the most diverse thing you can do in entertainment. There's so much out there for anybody. Just so much.
I think our rant's over. We went about an hour. It's like 50 minutes.
Yeah, let me just button this up real quick. Xbox.
Okay.
Xbox, please. You're just seeping the blood out of these developers, and just stop it. Stop it. Shit. Ken still want me to be animated. This is the most animated I've been in a long time. I don't really get animated.
It's been a while.
Okay. But this Microsoft thing is pissing me off. Stop making hardware. Just save that cost.
You know what? I'm
What?
I'm now on the other side of the coin. I'm no longer on your side. You know what, Xbox? Keep going. Ruin the whole ecosystem. Bring down Sony's Western Studios. Take down Xbox. We'll take everyone down and then rebuild.
Jesus, dude. Get me out of here. I need coffee.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Who knows what we'll talk about next week? We might get another rant like we did today. So remember, leave a like, subscribe, comment. Let us know how we're doing.